How are you, man? It's good to see you.
Good. I'm having this little amp adventure. I bought a Kemper,
A
and
Kemper,
yeah, have you heard of them?
of course. Yeah.
They
I'm not sure who uses Kemper, but I
a
know I've
lot
seen them on stages.
a lot of people do. I mean, I think Metallica started using them, and then they went over to Fractal. But Fractal's like a deep, deep dive.
Mm.
The Kemper's like a profiler, and the Fractal's like a yeah. Even the Kemper was too much for me. I had this guy come over and because I'm just trying to get this Malcolm sound.
Um, I thought that you were were you playing through Laney's for a while?
No, I was playing through Satellite.
Ah,
A company
okay.
in San Diego, and then and everyone's got the Marshall 800, which is like the Ford 150 of rock and roll
Right.
with your Les Paul. I mean
It's
that
classic. Not
yeah,
broken, don't fix. Yeah.
I loved it, but the Marshall's heavy and the Les Paul's heavier, and I'm
Yeah.
older, and the Kemper weighs 12 pounds, so I'm in.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me start this off officially. I
Yeah,
mean, I was not prepared for tech talk, and we won't go too deep on that, but that's actually interesting because, we're not kids anymore. And
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
holding a Les Paul all night long is not necessarily for everybody. I know it's not for me.
It's
Um,
not doable for me anymore either.
Dude, right? Hey, welcome in. However you got here, you got it on the new KNAC. You might be listening to our FM broadcast, or you might be streaming us, or I don't know. I guess dude, I don't know all the techie ways you can pick up our programming, but congratulations, you found us. Stu here, special guest today. Finland's greatest rock and roll export is Georg Dolivo from Rhino Bucket, my man. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too, Stu.
Yeah,
Mike
I
Monroe
was
might have something to say about that.
I was going to let you say that because I'm not going to. You're my guest. I'm not going to put you second to Mike Monroe, but he's Michael Monroe. What are you going to,
Yeah,
man?
I mean, there was coming from Finland, there was a band called Hurriganes when I was
Yeah.
growing up. They like broke the ice for all Finnish musicians.
Yeah.
It was
And
a
there's a
three piece.
lot.
There's like three-piece kind of rock punk thing. They were in a country which was very gray
Uh-huh.
at the time. They just hit it with a can of paint. And then, of course, Hanoi, but there's a lot of great bands in Finland that people have
Yeah.
never heard of, and a lot of them do really well by just staying in the Scandinavian area. So, not me,
Yeah.
man. I had to get out. I like sunshine.
I'd like. There is a lot to talk about with you. Your story is so unique and of its own. But I don't want to get ahead of us. You've got gigs coming up, and we want to make sure that if you've never seen Rhino Bucket, get off your ass and go see Rhino Bucket. They will absolutely kill you in the best way. They're at the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano Thursday. April the 23rd. That is this coming Thursday. If you're seeing this, anytime around when we're recording it. They're also going to be at the Whisky A Go Go. You can't go wrong in there. That's going to be Thursday, May the 21st. And if you're in the Columbus, Ohio area, you can check them out on Saturday, July 10th. They're part of a festival called the Picktown Palooza.
I think we're on Friday in Pigtown.
Did I say Saturday?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, they're on. Hey, if you're in Picktown, man, it's all the
stay
same
there.
day. In the words of Janis Joplin, it's all the same fucking day, man.
Absolutely. Let me see.
Greg,
Yeah,
you'll
it's
bleep that.
July 10th on a Friday.
It is a Friday. Okay, so good. We
But uh,
got
but
that.
but hey, if you miss us, you're going to see the Dangerous Toys on Saturday, so that's a great thing.
Oh, that's right. Jason McMaster never
Yeah.
leaves a disappointed crowd ever.
No, no, he does not.
Yeah, I watched a good portion of your podcast with them from, it was a few years ago now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think at that point it had been a couple few years since you had decided to come back to the world of rock and roll.
Right.
You tried to live a normie life for a little while, and it didn't work out.
No, no, it's a huge mistake.
Well, I'm glad for that, man. I mean, sometimes you got to go through the forest or the weeds or whatever to get to the sunshine.
Right.
I don't know.
somebody should have told me about this thing called HR.
Mm. That IKEA HR.
Yeah, that did not end well.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about the Rhino Bucket Company.
Yeah. Okay.
um, so this is really exciting. I was first, gosh, yeah. Let me continue. This is really great because I saw I was not prepared to see what apparently was like the one of the greatest Rhino Bucket shows ever. Um, I think it was the first night with your current lineup, which is now Harry Cody out of Shotgun Messiah, Dave Desay, who's been your drummer for forever now, and Joey from Circus of Power, and I remember him from a band called Funhouse that was in the
Yeah, we played
strip
with
back in
Funhouse too.
yeah, like 89, 90. I remember
Yeah.
running sound for them at the Troubadour. But anyway, so that's the lineup. I think it's the first show or one of them. And, I came to the show, I think, on your invitation. And I look over and there's Greg and there's and there's Jackie. I'm like, wow, oh, cool, man. So, say hi to Greg. We watch the band. That's a killer show. Greg tells you and tells everybody, he's like, I think this is the greatest lineup of Rhino Bucket I've ever seen.
Yes.
He said that night,
He said that
and
to us and backstage also, and I remember Harry going, "That may be the greatest compliment I've ever got in my life." You
I
know.
yeah,
But
what?
here's the funny thing.
Uh,
One rehearsal,
God, wow, lightning
but
in a bottle.
we all had a lot of time to prepare because it was booked way in advance, and it was
Uh
supposed to be two, but when the first one was coming around, I got some kind of bug where all of a
huh.
sudden, like I could only see in red and purple, and I couldn't eat anything. It was kind of cool, but it was
Wow,
funny.
some people pay a lot of drug money to get that kind of effect.
Exactly. You got to go to what is it, Sunset in Yucca, and
uh,
that's an
but
inside LA thing. But yeah, no. So we're actually rehearsing tomorrow again, expanding the set. But when Greg said that, and then Jackie was so complimentary to Joe and Dave,
yeah,
and it's funny because Jackie, a little brat, had a beats per minute monitor in her hand while we were playing,
that's right. I totally forgot that. Yeah,
and she's going like, "Man, Dave is locked," and I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" So no, it was really encouraging. It was really great, and also there's a spirit in the band right now that is really really good because everyone wants to do the best they can, and they're like, I mean, Joe and Harry are phenomenal musicians, just natural. And I mean, come on, Harry's a fucking
dude.
guitar god.
People, I mean, there's a certain section of us that know Harry Cody and Shotgun Messiah from that, but I mean, like, he, well, I don't know how to say it any better than you just did. Really, he is an excellent musician. He is a name that should have been way bigger.
Yeah.
I'll share something with you real quick. I keep this guitar with me. This was a guitar that I had. I think Greg's signature is on here as well. I got everybody on earth and anybody that came through KNAC back in the day signed this guitar. And Harry Cody is right here on the headstock.
Oh hell
Like,
yeah.
yeah, that I was really stoked that to get his signature and to have it there. By the way, Michael Monroe is across the entire fretboard.
Well, that proves the point.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I mean, to get Harry and Rhino Bucket is a coup because you've had the great guys. Greg is cut the mold, and Brian forever was just
Yeah.
his pedigree speaks for itself, and then Harry's perfect. It's great.
No, absolutely. And the thing is, it was funny because some people, um, well, a little backstory, like 30 seconds or less. Harry and I did some demos like 20 years ago together
Really.
as a band called Das Cabal. And we got one of the demos onto a movie. And, we worked together, and it was a little bit more like the last Shotgun Messiah vibes thing for, like, it was, there were samples and like
A little
little,
more industrial feel to
yeah,
it.
absolutely. And all I did was sing, but So we're remained really good friends. And Harry's born in Sweden to Finnish parents, and I'm
Oh,
born in yeah, and I'm born in Finland. And but I speak my first language was Finnish Swedish, which is a dialect of Swedish that's only spoken in Finland. So we
oh.
had a connection. So one day, this is years ago when there was some kind of problem, and I had called Harry and said like, hey, if I ever need you to come in and help me, is that a possibility? And he said like without hesitation, anytime you need me to help, I'll help. So when this occurred, the lineup change, then I said like, well, I'd like you to like do more than just help now. And he was like, I'm totally in. Now he's got a project with Zinni, the original singer of Shaka Messiah. They're playing Sweden rock, and Joey also does. Oh, he's gonna kill me. I can't remember his other side project, but
He's got
my
another job though. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but it's like it's sporadic, and they
Uh.
love being in Rhinebeck because we make more money. uh, so well, maybe not the Sweden rock money, but otherwise than that. So my whole thing to them, and it's always been the same thing, is like, just let me know. I'm, you know, we, I, you got to go get that money. It's like I got to go get that money too. And so, like, if you just
Sure.
give me advance notice, I have a calendar specifically for Rhino Bucket. I have a physical one and a computer and on my phone. So if you tell me that this time you can't, you're doing this, let me know. And God bless you. You're great. And then after this whole fiasco, Dave and I had sat down and we had a couple of beers, and I said, like, we will never accept subs again. If it's not this lineup, we're not playing. I don't give a shit if it's opening up for the Rolling Stones. I don't care because I can't do that. Because what people don't realize with subs is like somebody says like, "Well, I can't do it. I'm double booked, so sorry. I know a guy who could cover me." Well, now you're walking away and you can go have a fucking cup of coffee and some pie. I got to rehearse extra and see what this guy's all about or
Yeah.
girl,
Hmm.
and it like triples my workload just because you didn't want to do it or couldn't do it or. So that's our
Yeah.
new rules. It's like go out and make money. Just give me like at least 30 days, 90 days. Now with booking, it should be really 3 months to six.
Sure. Scheduling
Uh,
is a big, big deal. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and that was one of and I'm glad that that was all out there. We wanted you to get you guys the full band on stage for the KNAC 40 reunion show, and that it couldn't happen that way. But I was stoked to have you there. Anyways, thanks for coming out to that.
oh absolutely. And I saw there was a video message from Harry that was played also.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yes, it was.
Yeah. I'm like sitting with oh God,
I
Junkman.
fi- Oh, sure, Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan. I was sitting with Jordan in like the back, and I'm, having a drink, and we're talking, and I look up at the big screen, and there's Harry. I'm going like, "Are you in the building?"
I figured you were the one who made that happen. No,
No, no, I
I
had no
guess
idea
not.
about it.
So, well, that was a really fun night, and I'm pretty sure you were one of those on one of those panels, right?
Yeah.
Talking about the old days and how it came together on KNAC for you guys.
Oh yeah, KDC was always great. I didn't really get to that point because everyone was talking, and they came to me last, but Ricky said a very, very complimentary thing to me, and I on that stage, he goes like, "You guys never quit," and I go, "No, we went to Europe." And we never quit. We kept playing, and we're still playing, and we're going to keep on playing. You
Yeah.
know, would I like to have a house in Hidden Hills and a bright orange Bugatti? Sure, but the tune-up on a Bugatti is like $27,000. So I think I'm pretty good here,
You got a tour just to tune up that car, dude.
right? Like tires are like 30,000 or something.
Yeah,
That's
it
crazy.
it makes no sense, and none of that substitutes for the thrill. Well, you tell me, that feedback you get playing to a crowd, rocking out, and like, what can you even put it in words?
Well, it's weird because yeah, you feed off the energy of the crowd and and it invigorates you and it gives you hope and it reminds you of like why when you were a kid you wanted to do this and all that. But lately it's kind of, I don't know how to put this without making people offended. Well, they won't get offended. I get off more on the interaction with the band,
Okay.
especially now. Like the four of us, like really when we start nailing it, and you're going like, this is what I've been striving for all my life,
And it's hitting
and
on all cylinders.
right, and you just get filled with pride, and you're just like, oh yeah, let's do the lion's roar. And I think that energy then goes to the crowd, and they get involved, and then it becomes like this whole rotating
100%.
love
It's a
fest.
vicious
Yeah,
circle.
yeah,
It's a loving vicious circle. It's
right,
a
right. But
vicious circle of love.
but yeah, I mean, it's I could I've never really been in a lineup where we had like hatred, and I
Mm.
look at bands like Oasis or Wasp, and it's like why? There's, there's now Oasis is back together, and they're because they needed the extra $200 million.
to- Tolerating each other for the money. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know
But
if that's a thing. I'm glad that that you're not in that because maybe it does. I mean, it does seem to work for some people and bands. Like they
oh yeah,
feed off the animosity of each other. Like they can make music together, but man, they hate each other off stage.
right.
And that seems cumbersome.
I had a friend who's in a band. Well, he's still my friend, and again, this was a private conversation, so I can't say who it was. He goes like, but he goes like, I've been in a band with this guy for a decade, and the last 6 years we haven't talked because one day in breakfast he told me
Oh, sorry. One day at breakfast, you told you what? Because it cut out.
I chew too loud when I eat.
So they haven't talked for 6 years, huh?
No, they just get on stage and do their thing, separate dressing rooms. It's fucking
Mm,
hilarious.
you
I
just
couldn't
chew
live
at
like
each other.
that. I couldn't live like that. I wouldn't want to. It's like, it's
Wow, man. So Rhino Bucket does not rush albums. I think it's fair to say the first two are probably the closest to in proximity to each other that I think have ever been. But the question is, is there a new album with this lineup? Because if you've got the perfect band together, you tell me.
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we did do a third one in '94, so it'd be like the first three, but it was
Okay,
still
yeah,
going
including
independent.
Pain.
Yeah, and then on acetate, we had a kind of a good run going, but at some point we started doing like No Song Left Behind, which is a bunch of demos, which was interesting, and Live on the Sunset Strip, which was no, I can't remember the titles. And then it kind of just, I didn't have a lot of participation in the songwriting after Greg. So it kind of like ended up on me. But now with
Oh,
this lineup, like Harry just made an album with Zinni, and so he's a songwriter. Joe may be a songwriter. Dave's getting his songwriting chops better. And the goal is, of course, we want to, 'cause I've always said this, and it's funny because people don't really, some people don't understand what I mean by this, but I don't want Rhino Bucket to ever be a cover band of Rhino Bucket.
yeah. I've heard
So
you say that.
yeah, so I want us always to like thrive to create new music and because it makes the set more fun for everyone,
Absolutely.
especially for the new guys. If like yeah, okay, let's play One Night Stand. They haven't heard this 150 fucking thousand times, but here's a song that the three of us wrote or the four of us wrote, and it's really good. And it's keeps it interesting for them, and then I can they'll get some publishing money out of it and mechanicals and stuff like that, which is really good. And a lot of people don't believe me when I say this, but I always, whatever the current lineup is, I share 25% for everyone. I don't, I
Wow.
because
You're not one of those dictator bands where it's your way or the highway and,
no,
you
because
grab it all.
my whole thing is, and I learned this a long time ago from a really really wealthy guy.
Huh.
He goes like, "What's your like most valuable asset?" And I went, I don't know, my car. At the time, I was married to my first wife, so we had a house in Encino. To get that, I guess a house. I don't know.
Huh.
I'm, I could do the math. He goes like, no.
He
And I
said,
was like, no,
wrong.
you're right. He goes, no, your most valuable asset will always be your time because you can't buy time.
True.
And so these guys are willing to hang out with me and make music with me and do gigs with me and record with me. They're investing their most valuable thing that they have into us being a collective. So they deserve 25% of everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Dolivo. Boom, that's a mic drop. Yeah, take that to the bank, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't think I've ever heard anybody put it quite that way, and that's righteous. I don't know what else to
Nice.
say.
Thanks.
Golly. Um, well, shoot, I don't want to take up your whole day. There was two things.
Okay.
We were a little bit late in getting started because you received a new amp today. Took possession of what was that amp again?
The Kemper.
The Kemper.
I had a
Um,
Kemper and I fried it.
uh, you fried it? Okay.
Yeah. So I got to take that to the repair shop. And then
Yeah.
I called Greg, and like at the Metallica headquarters, and I
Yeah.
told him what the situation is because the bench time on those, they don't really have a repair shop in LA, which is ridiculous. You have to ship it to Chicago. But there's
Oh.
one place that may look, but their wait time is like 4 to 6 weeks. And I got gigs coming up. So he was kind enough to ship me his Kemper
Oh.
to use. So that's what I was waiting for. And I was on my little phone just staring at the FedEx map tracker. It's like, I got to get this before one. I got to get this before one. And next thing I realized, it's like, oh shit, it's 1:13.
No,
But
that's okay.
it
I'm
showed
happy you
up.
have some light gear to carry around because, like we were saying before, I think we started recording was like, holding a Les Paul all night long and having to lug like a Marshall.
Yeah,
That's
no,
that's a young man's game.
right. I mean, our backline requirements are, usually a full backline,
Right.
but with Marshalls, but it's there when we
Right.
fly or where we show up. But Harry and I are both trying to work out this thing where those Marshalls will be our backups in case something goes wrong, where we have light enough stuff that we can take it on the plane and get to the gig and use our sounds. And if for God some reason it fails, we can just plug into an 800. And I know how to set up an 800 in 30 seconds. I've had them all my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, I mean, and that Les Paul, it's beautiful. It was like it's like a 78, weighs like a Toyota Prius. It might just be a recording guitar from now on because I can't imagine spending 90 minutes with that on my
Well,
back.
that's one of the things that I think I've noticed about you is that you play your guitar all night long. You don't switch out guitars for this song or that song, or do
No,
you?
no, I carry a backup in case I break a string because we don't carry crew because I want all the money to go to the band.
Uh-huh. Okay.
You know, so but I haven't broken a string in 10 years. But it's good to be safe, right?
Yeah, the day that
Uh,
you leave that guitar back at the hotel room is the day you'll break that
yeah,
string.
pink, and then you're like, I'm sorry.
Uh,
So no, it's a really my main guitar now it's really cool. I got it from Paul Reed Smith himself. It's a chambered prototype,
hmm
so it looks like solid body, but it's chambered, so it sings. And then I
And
got
it's,
a
yeah,
Tele Classic as the backup, which with a single coil humbucker on the bridge. It's a reissue, so it's not the '67. It's like later, but
but it's okay. It sings, doesn't it?
yeah, it's yeah. They're great, and so here's where I flipped the script on Kempers. There's like 531 freaking amps on a Kemper, right?
Uh-huh.
Or at least 200 when they come from the factory that you can choose and
Right,
mess
they're all
around
modeled.
and save and blah blah blah. So I had this guy come in, this guy named Danny Hetcher here in LA, who's fantastic. And I pointed to the four main guitars that I use, which is the PRS, the Tele, the Les Paul, and Epiphone Les Paul Jr. And I said, I want them all to sound the same. And he's like, what? I go, yeah, I want them all to sound exactly the same. So if I'm cycling through and popping strings and all that kind of stuff, that it's not going to affect the sound. It's not going to affect my drive or gain. It's not going to affect anything. Like, I just want the same. He goes, you might have an amp that's a little bit of an overkill for this. I go, but yeah, but it just weighs 12 pounds. So, like, that's it. And sometimes, maybe late at night one day, I'll try to like make Star Trek noises on one of the open channels.
Well, do it in front of do it in front of a crowd when you do that.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Hey, by the way, before I let you go, I'm not sure whether and I don't know if you even care, but I have been saying Georg Dolivo for many years, and then I heard the other day, the guy said Georg Dolivo. And I thought, oh, have I been saying it wrong all this time?
It's complicated.
Okay.
In Finland, it's Jori Dolivo.
Georg Dolivo.
Dolivo, yeah.
Dolivo.
And a lot in America, it's George Dolivo and Dolivo, and they call me Craig, because apparently having no E at the end of your name it just throws them off.
It throws everybody off, man. Yeah.
I actually was told here in school, I think it was third grade, that the teacher said, like, do you not know how to spell your name?
I'm just getting started, lady.
And like, my English is really bad. I'm just looking at it and going like, yeah, I know how to spell my name.
Well, listen, I want to say again, hey, first of all, thank you for making the time and
thank you.
us in. There's a story that I'll get out of you the next time about your uncle and your musical beginnings, and I'll leave it on that like a cliffhanger.
No,
he's the dude.
He's the dude. He's like the guy.
Yeah. So once again, Rhino Bucket at the Coach House, Thursday, April the 23rd. Catch him at the Whisky Thursday, May the 21st in Ohio. There'll be Friday the 10th of July if you're in the Columbus area, and there are certainly going to be more Rhino Bucket dates to come. George sounds every bit as biting and killer and vicious as he ever did. So go see the show. Dude, you haven't lost any of it. It's great to see you guys.
Oh, thank you, Sue. It's great to see you too. I remember when you came up after the gig and you said hi, and I was like, I did like a classic Hollywood triple take. I go, oh my God, it's Stu.
That's okay. Yeah, I've grown my my costume, so I'm not always a first look,
No, I saw it in your eyes, and I was like, that's Stu.
Yeah, that's it. Cool.
All right,
man. George. We'll see you soon.
Okay.
This is Pure Rock, KNAC.